Hello, hello, everybody. Happy Friday. I hope you are having an amazing day. It is actually a little chilly here in the Carolinas. I am here in North Carolina. I have my blankie here to keep me warm. I'm so excited, you guys. We get to dive into day 4, which is a very special bonus class. And I'm going to be teaching you all about how I collaborated with doctors and holistic practitioners when I was building and growing my health coaching and nutritional therapy practice. So super excited to share this information with you. Let me know that you're here by typing in the chat #live. And that way I can kind of see you. It'll pop up. Let's see, here's Miss Helen. Let's let some people in that are going to be joining us here. Hey, Helen, how are you? If you're watching the replay, let me know that too. Type in #replay and just know that if you have any questions, even if you're watching the replay, I want to hear it. I want to see it. I will circle back around and promise that you get your questions answered. Hey, Helen, what a great surprise. I'm so excited that you're here.
You know what? It came into my inbox. I'm available and I love you. You're the best. So
Aww.
I'm here for it.
I'm so glad you're here. This is awesome. So for those of you that want to join me inside of the Zoom room, I promise you get your questions answered so much quicker here. Definitely go to the top of the Facebook page and there is a link that's posted up there. It's a Zoom link. And so you can just pop right in. And for the rest of you who are watching on Facebook, let me just go ahead and share my screen here because this is the workbook that you should have gotten. So there were 2 workbooks that were sent to you. One was about the Connect, Collaborate, and Cultivate community. And that was the past 3 days that we talked about and how we need to have all 3 of those pieces in order for us to grow a 6-figure practice with ease and flow. Also in there were your basic foundation, your business basic foundation. So we talked about the importance of building your audience, nurturing your audience, and inviting people to work with you. And those are the 3 foundational pieces that any business actually needs to have in order to be profitable, in order to be successful. If you don't build your audience, you don't have anybody who wants what it is that you have to offer them. You've got nobody to invite to work with you. If you don't nurture your audience, then you're trying to actually take a stranger right into a buyer. There has to be that know, like, trust built. And so nurturing is really, really important. And we talked about different ways that we can nurture our audience, but one of my favorite ways is doing live nurture events like this, whether it's inside my Facebook group. Sometimes I do in-person talks, and that was another way that you're able to nurture your audience and really be visible, helping yourself, helping your people find you. Because if you're not helping your people find you, then they're just going to find somebody else. So building your audience, nurturing your audience, and then you have to invite people to work with you, my friends. If you do not make those invitations, if you do not say, hey, I see you over here on Payne Island, I want to help you move over here so that you can have this different experience of life, whether it's helping them with their health or their spirituality or their relationships or whatever it is that you want to help them with as an expert wellness entrepreneur or a service-based entrepreneur. People need to be invited. And let me just say that people want to be invited. And I think a lot of times people forget about that. They think that inviting is somehow icky or salesy or slimy, when the invitation is actually an invitation to take the natural next step so that they can get the solution to their problem, so that they can get off of Payne Island. So the invitation is inviting somebody from Payne Island into the boat, right? So that you can help row them over to the different experience of life that they have. So we talked about those 3 things in depth. So if you haven't watched that yet, definitely it's inside of the Facebook group. It's under the guides section. So just go to the very top of the Facebook group, click guides, and you can find all of that there for you. You'll find day 1, day 2, day 3. And then after we finish today, this one will be there for you. Now, the videos will only be up for about another week. They're going to be coming back down next Thursday. So don't wait. Make sure that you watch this information. All right, so we're diving all in to how to collaborate with doctors and holistic practitioners to build a thriving wellness practice in 4 simple steps. So these are the same steps that I used when I was reaching out to doctors and holistic health practitioners. You guys already know who I am, so you don't need to worry about that. But what I do want to share is, you know, even though I had the training when I first started my practice, I didn't know how to build a business. I knew how to serve people. I knew how to help people get the transformation that we're looking for, but I had no idea how to build a business. And so really that's what my trainings are. And that is what Activate Abundance that you have heard all about yesterday and the day before is to help you get your business foundations and take the actions that you need to take to implement it. So one of the things when I first started was I knew that getting in front of people who were also serving my ideal client in a different way, that's what collaborations is all about, was really important. And I needed to know how to tap into my local community so that I could get exposure to attract my clients to my practice. So I did some research and I had some conversations with the local doctors, but also some of my friends and some of my friends who actually went to the local doctors. So that was actually perfect. And what I found was that doctors didn't want their patient, didn't really want to have their patients suffer, but they didn't know how to actually help them because they also didn't have the time, right? They did want to help their clients. They did want to help their patients, but they didn't have the time and they didn't have the resources, right? I don't know about you, but rarely was I, with a doctor longer than maybe 15 minutes. And you need a whole lot more than 15 minutes to help somebody navigate the challenges or help them lose weight or help them balance their blood sugar or reduce diabetes or get in shape or get more movement in, right? It's not as simple as just giving somebody information and then expecting them to get the results, right? And yet that's what the doctors were doing. The friends that went to the doctors were saying, all I got was this handout, and so they wanted more than a handout. They needed education. They needed a system. They needed accountability. They needed support. And they asked often where they could find the support, even to their doctors, and the doctors didn't know. So let me just share that this is a perfect time right now in the world for you to be the bridge between the doctor and the patient, the doctor and the client, right? This is so, so important because without you being that bridge, what's happening is that the doctor doesn't really know where to send the patient and the patient doesn't really know where to get the information. And I know this to be true because one of the clients that I was actually able to serve reached out to me and I said, oh, well, how did you find me? And she said, well, my chiropractor sent me to you. And I'm like, great, how can I help you? And she said, well, I need back surgery. And my back surgeon said that I have to lose 20 pounds before he is able to give me the surgery. And I said, great. And she said, but I asked him, well, how do I do that? And he said, I don't know, just go find a program, just go find a resource. And she said, I didn't know where to go. So I went to my chiropractor and I asked him, and he's the one who sent him to me. So it really is true that, while we might think that, sure, that they've got all the resources, they really don't. And they look forward to hearing from you with a resource. So in this guide today, in this experience that I want to take you through today, I'm going to share with you how you can meet both of the needs, how you can be a support system for the doctors and their patients and establish really valuable partnerships in the community. And so I really want to help you with this so that you feel confident about connecting and collaborating, but also about launching your wellness practice and bringing in the clients that you are most meant to serve. So let's get started. Step 1, when we are talking about who to connect with and who to collaborate with, I want you to remember that cold calling rarely will get you past the front desk. I want you to start locally and personally. Start with who you know. So the first fill in the blank on here is who you know, right? Who is it that you go to? How about your friends? Who do they go to? What about your clients? Who do they go to? And this is important because when you start with who you know, there is a transfer of trust that's already there. You don't have to try to convince or persuade who it is that you know about you. There's already that connection there. There's already that rapport there. There's already that trust. There's already that trust there. And even if you're going to say your friend's doctor, when you can say, oh, my friend so-and-so recommended that I come and have a conversation with you, there's that transfer of trust. So don't try to just cold call any doctor's office and expect that you're going to get past the front desk and talk to the chiropractor or the doctor. Start with who you know. Start with who you know. Ask your friends for an introduction or a referral. Ask for an introduction or a referral from your personal doctors or even clients that have had success with you. So they're really, really happy to share a good success story. And I want to share with you, that client that I mentioned earlier who said, I have to lose 20 pounds before I can have this back surgery. Well, we worked together. She lost the 20 pounds. She went back to her doctor and her doctor was like, how did you do that? And I want their card. And so she shared with her doctor what we did, and his office actually reached out to me and said, when are you running this program again? We need this resource for our patients. Can you give us some flyers? Can you share with us? Can you even come in and have a conversation with our staff? And I'm like, absolutely, would love to. Another way that this worked out for me is I had a client that actually went through a 6-week wellness program with me. She also was a holistic nurse and she worked at the local hospital. And because of the results that she had going through the program, she started talking about me to other doctors. And she just happened to be talking to a digestive associate one day. And he said, I want her information. I really want her to come in and talk to our staff. And so he reached out to me. And he said, Chris, will you come in and talk to our staff of 8 doctors and their nurses and share about this program that you have? I've heard amazing things about you from Kathy and would really love to offer you as a resource. And I'm like, happy to. By the way, I was scared to death when I did that because I was still brand new in my practice. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be in front of 8 doctors, sharing about this. But here's the cool thing. They didn't know about transformational coaching. They didn't really know about nutrition. They knew how to help people with the digestive pieces from an allopathic view. And this doctor wanted to incorporate also a holistic resource to help their patients feel better even after they were working with the doctors, or even some of their patients that maybe have had gastric bypass surgery to help them lose weight. He wanted to be able to refer them to me so that they could have the lifestyle skills. And again, remember, the doctors don't have access to those resources, nor do they have time to help their clients with that. So this was huge. This was huge. And so I would take flyers to this doctor's office and drop them off at the front desk. And they would put them in each doctor's mailbox and they would share that. They would even put flyers up in the lobby. So that was amazing. So start with who you know and ask for referrals or ask your clients. All right. So that in itself is huge. That in itself is worth the cost of a free workshop, right? Step 2, create relationships first. Create relationships first. Inspiring. You're welcome. Bye, Helen. Yay. Go talk to your chiropractor. Yes, absolutely. So step 2 is create a relationship first. So when you build a relationship first, you're able to build your practice and gain new clients and serve in your community. This is really important. We get to just be a real person. We get to create a relationship with them, a friendship with them. So meeting chiropractors, acupuncturists, and other wellness practitioners in person is also a really great way to begin developing a relationship. So one of the things that I want to encourage you to do now that the world is opening up again, now that there are local networking groups, now that there are meetup groups, go to a local networking group and ask to set up a one-on-one meeting over coffee to learn more about their practice. They want to build their business too. They want to build their business too. So here's what I did. There was a local networking group, still is, called the Lake Norman Small Business Group. And so I went there and there was about 80 to 100 small business owners. And we would introduce what it is that we do and what our business is. And I would go and talk to the chiropractors, the acupuncturists, the massage therapists, people who I knew served my client, but in a different way than I did. And I would ask them about their clients. I would ask them about themselves. I would ask them about their vision. I would ask them, who would they like me to refer to them, so that I could learn a little bit more about their business. Because chiropractors and acupuncturists and even naturopaths and massage therapists, like, they all have a different, expertise. One massage therapist might specialize in craniosacral therapy, and another massage therapist might specialize in deep tissue therapy. Or one chiropractor might be doing the actual adjustments, and another chiropractor might be doing more energy work, right? So I wanted to know more about them, and I wanted to show interest in them, and I wanted to approach it with a generosity, service first energy, where I could say, tell me about you. Tell me who you would like me to refer clients to. So that that allowed me to build a relationship first and to create a win-win. So that not only were, excuse me, someone else is coming in our room. So not only were they able to hear a little bit more about what I did, but they absolutely got to have an experience that I wanted to support them, that I was also here to help them create and build their business too. So this is the key of collaborations. Generosity, right? Creating win-wins. When we are generous, when we are truly interested in the other person and what it is that they do and how you can support them too, that's what a true collaboration is, right? It is not just going in and saying, hey, will you just send clients to me? It's, hey, tell me about you. Tell me about the type of client or patient that you're most interested in serving, and let me know a little bit more about them so I can send, people to you. Even if you're new in your business, that's okay. Like, you're going to meet other people, whether it's friends or family or some of your clients, and you are going to know who to refer them to, right? Now, the other thing is, don't forget to get their email so that you can follow up with them. There's a couple different things that you could do. You can either ask directly and say, hey, would it be okay if I got your email so that I can just follow up with you and we can set up a time to chat later? Or I know, as a matter of fact, I was in Chicago recently, and one of the women that I met, she says, hey, can I get your number so that we can connect? And I'm like, sure. And so I just, typed my phone number right into her phone right then and there so that we can connect afterwards. She just also happens to be here in Charlotte. So I'm really excited about reconnecting with her. So these are collaborations. This is how we get to collaborate with each other, right? So make sure that you follow up with them. If you have their email, follow up them and say, hey, it was so nice meeting you at wherever it was that you were. And or text them if you have their phone number. Hey, it was really nice meeting you in Chicago. I can't wait to connect. Let me know when you have time to meet for coffee, right? So follow up with them. Really, really important. All right. Step 3, create value for them. So if you're really serious about growing your business and being a local expert where people are going to send people to you, you really need to make sure that you're creating value for your referral partners. So some ways to do this are to let them know how you are the bridge between what it is that they do for their clients and how you can actually help their clients. So this is really a great way to say, oh, okay, so you treat your clients chiropractically, and I help them lose weight, or I help them engage in more movement, and I would love to be that bridge so that they are also going to be more compliant with what it is that you're teaching them. Chances are, if they're working with a chiropractor, the chiropractor, or even a physical therapist or a massage therapist, there's going to be some exercises that they're going to want to do, right? There's going to be some things that are going to help them be more compliant. And that is one of the biggest things that I also heard from doctors as well, is people weren't following through. And I'm like, oh, well, there's a reason. You're just giving them a handout. They don't know what to do with this information. And so if I'm talking to a doctor, I'm going to say, I'm going to help you, and I'm going to create value for you with your patient so that they're actually able to follow through more effectively with the protocol that you want them to follow. Because in transformational coaching, that's one of the things that we do, right? We help people create habit change. We help people overcome what is in people's way so that they can get out of their way and continue to implement the pieces and keep going. So that was one of the things that I did. The other thing that you can do is share maybe some topics that you're really excited about that you know is going to serve their client. So again, I went to a massage therapist, one of my friends who owned a massage therapy studio, and I said, hey, I'm really passionate about giving this talk. It was called The Secret Sauce for Women Who Lead. And I said, I think this would really serve some of your clients. And she said, absolutely, would love to have you come and do a talk. So I shared that talk for free. It was no expense to them. They weren't paying me to come do the talk, but it allowed me to get in front of their audience, and I could serve them and I could give value in another way. So what are some ways that you can actually give value? And so the ways that I gave value was to let them know that I could help them I could be the bridge, and I could help them, with their patients, as far as, following through with ways that they could help, or that they wanted them to follow through. And also offering a talk or a workshop or something that was also going to be really valuable to the office. So here's the thing. Chiropractors, acupuncturists, naturopaths, massage therapists, look, they want their people to have extra value. So I want you to see that this is you providing value for their practice, right? I did the same thing with a chiropractic office, and it was my chiropractor. So I said, hey, I would love to do a free talk. I know that you also match my vision, right? So this is talking about our vision and our mission, and why is it important that we do what we do? So for me, when I was building my health coaching practice, one of the things that was really, really huge on my heart, still is we have an epidemic of diabetes and obesity. People don't know the information that they need to know to really take charge of their own health and their own wellness. And I wanted to get these basic foundations in front of people so they could be like, oh my gosh, like I had no idea that canola oil that is sitting on the shelf is actually bad for my health. It's actually rancid, right? Or, you know what? I had no idea that fruit and vegetables are actually carbohydrates. So, I had no idea. I thought only bread or rice was carbohydrates, right? So it was important for me to help educate, because I knew that if people were more educated with this information and they were able to do something different, that their health and their wellness was going to be better, and it was going to create ripple effects in their lives with their families. And I saw this every time I did a 6-week wellness program. I saw this. I saw people saying, oh my gosh, my daughter's actually finally eating eggs. Or, my son is now cooking in the kitchen with me, or my husband is actually, we are actually having really fun and cooking in the kitchen where before I hated to cook. So this was really awesome. So we do want to share the benefits. We want to share our mission. We want to share why we are passionate about it. And we want to encourage them to also, meet us in that vision to also help their people, because they want to know why it is that are you doing what you do, right? Awesome. The other thing that you can do is when you are meeting with them in step 2 in your coffee chat, find out more about how you can serve them. Like say, what are some of the challenges that your people are experiencing? What are some of the things that you wish that they knew, because you know that it would help them in their health and wellness? And so you can tailor your talks, or tailor your handout, or tailor your workshop specifically to that doctor, and that provides extreme value for them. All right. Step 4 is offer a specific resource. So this was the key, my friends. This was the game changer. I know I mentioned earlier that I told people about, or I told the doctors about my 6-week wellness program. When we are collaborating, we want to let them know that there is something very, very specific that they can guide their patients to, more than just here's a coupon or here's a handout and go talk to this health coach. Like, honestly, they don't have time to talk you up to their patients, but what they will do is they will absolutely, if they understand that you have a special resource, if you have a special class that will fill a need for their patients, they will share that. And so when you offer a specific resource, such as a wellness class or a health talk to their patients, you take the pressure off of them having to sell you to their patients. And so this fills the gap for what they don't have time to do in their office, right? A lot of times, I've seen many, many health coaches say, well, I've collaborated with doctors and they just don't share my stuff. And I'm like, they're not sharing your stuff because they don't really understand what it is that you do. right? Many doctors that are like, or I mean, honestly, before you got into health coaching or whatever modality you're doing, or an energy worker, people didn't really understand what that was. And so you need to offer a specific resource. And this was how I grew my health coaching practice. I offered a 6-week wellness program that I would take my clients through. And I would leave a flyer with the doctors. I mentioned earlier that the Digestive Health Associate group said, hey, do you have any flyers that we can give to our patient? Not only did I have flyers, but actually made little postcards that they could actually hand out to their patients. They kept them. As a matter of fact, one of the chiropractors kept him those postcards in his treatment room, right on the treatment table, so that he could hand it to them, because he knew how valuable it was. This is the same chiropractor that sent that patient to me who needed to lose 20 pounds in order for her to get back surgery. So when doctors and health practitioners have a specific value and a resource that they would recommend, again, this allows them to make referrals really easy. And so now they see that their practice is offering value to their patients. It takes the burden off of them to try to meet that missing need that they didn't have time for. And it allows people to come directly to you. So no more hustling and burning out to pay my bills. I actually had clients calling me saying, hey, Dr. Scheer recommended you to me. Dr. Rose recommended you to me. Dr. Rose recommended you to me. And, he says that I should call you. Here's the other thing that I want to say about this. Remember, in the very beginning, I talked about a transfer of trust that's happening, right? So when your doctor or a practitioner is referring patients to you or clients to you, that means that there's a transfer of trust that's happening as well. So no longer do you have to try to convince or persuade the person who is calling you. You just get to share information. You just get to say, yes, I would love to hear what's going on with you. And then you can decide, yes, this is something that I can help you with. This is how I can support you, right? They wouldn't have called you in the first place if they weren't interested in working with you. So I want you guys to really wrap your head around this. This is what is going to keep you from having to try to chase down clients. And you don't want to be in that position where you feel like you're chasing clients, because what that does is it puts you energetically into being very needy. Somehow you have to go get a client, or you've got to convince a client that what you're doing is important, or what you're doing is what they needed. We don't ever want to be in the position of trying to convince or persuade somebody that what we have is what they need. They are not your client if they're not already looking for a solution to their problem. I want to say that again. We don't want to get to convince somebody that they need what it is that we have. That is chasing after a client. Instead, and by the way, those are not your ideal clients, but yet I see so many people trying to convince or persuade people that they need what it is that they have. That's not your client, my friend. Those are what we call the sidewalkers. They might be in your world, but they don't believe that they have a problem. They're not looking for a solution. Right? So what we end up doing is try to convince and persuade them that, oh, but you really do need this thing in order for you to feel better. And they're like, yeah, but I just don't even feel like investing in myself, or I don't even think that this is something that I need right now. So that's chasing a client. Instead, what we get to do is be available for the people who are in the slow lane, who are actually looking for the solution that you provide. They just haven't found you yet. Or the people that are in the fast lane, which are like, yep, I'm done. I have to get this handled, right? So I'm going to give you an example of that. So the client that came to me who needed to lose 20 pounds, she was like, I got to get this handled. I can't have back surgery unless I lose 20 pounds. There was no convincing or persuading there. She was all in, and there was a transfer of trust that was created from the chiropractor. So I just got to be able to share with her ways that I could support her. I could work with her one-on-one, or I could take her through a 6-week program, or I could take her through a 12-week program. And she actually ended up going through the 6-week program and also the 12-week program with me. So I hope this is making sense. I hope that this is giving you some valuable information, that this is not about trying to create fancy funnels. This is not about paying for Facebook ads. This is not about trying to convince or persuade, or, book a gazillion discovery sessions or give away free coaching so that you can convince somebody that they need what it is that you have, right? This is about creating value and allowing the allowing you to be the bridge between the doctor and the client so that you can help people create more health and wellness in their business. And this is what is going to allow you to be a standout leader in your field. It's going to allow you to be also the local expert. How do I know that? Because that's exactly what happened to me. Doctors were sending their patients to me. And I also was getting asked to go do talks at the local hospital. One of my clients, actually, the holistic nurse, again, this nurse that went through my program for herself that got such amazing results, she asked me if I would do 2 talks, as a matter of fact, that she would pay me for from the hospital. And these talks were specifically for doctors and the staff of the hospital of how they could eat for energy instead of just stopping by the vending machine and grabbing whatever it is that they needed to grab. And so I was able to do that talk there, and I got very well paid for it. I think they paid me $500 for that talk. So here's what I want to offer you next. There's a couple things. Number one, if you want the 6-week wellness program that I used, I am happy to share that with you. I just need you to let me know. Type me in the chat and I can share with you what that looks like. It's actually inside of my Launch Well program, and it is the entire 6-week wellness program. It's the whole thing that's already made. It's the done for you program that you get to actually take my name off, put your name on, it's white labeled. So that is something that I offer to my clients. And it is also called the Launch Well program. You can go to shineabundancenow.com and you can take a look at the Launch Well program. But even more than that, I'm so interested in helping you inside the Activate Abundance program. And the reason why is because you need more than just having a 6-week wellness program. You need to know and be able to implement, and this is key, implement how to build your audience, how to nurture your audience, how to invite people to work with you. You need to know who your ideal client is and what it is that they're struggling with. You need to have your business model set up so that you are priced appropriately and so that your business model is set up based just on 2 core main offers that are going to take you to 6 figures. And if you don't have that business model set up in the right way, then you're actually not going to hit 6 figures. So it's really, really important. And here's the other piece that I want to share. I see so many entrepreneurs trying to do this on their own. And look, there's nothing wrong with trying to do it on your own. I mean, the truth is we weren't taught how to build businesses. I wasn't taught in my nutrition school. I wasn't even taught in my health coaching school. I wasn't taught in my massage therapy school. I wasn't even taught as a yoga teacher. I was taught great skills and I had a great toolbox of how I could really serve people and help them live happier, healthier lives. But I had no basic foundations of how to build and run a business. And that is what Activate Abundance is for. You need the tools and you need the right tools, just like a recipe. And I'm going to use the analogy. I want to use 2 analogies. One of them is I like to use the analogy of a pumpkin pie since we're coming up into Thanksgiving. In order to make your pumpkin pie or your dessert or your pecan pie or whatever it is that you're going to make for Thanksgiving, you need to follow a recipe, right? There are certain ingredients that you need. If you don't have pumpkin for your pumpkin pie, you're not going to end up with a pumpkin pie, right? Well, if you don't have these foundations in your business, you are not going to have a 6-figure business, period. And the problem is that you don't know what it is that you don't know because you weren't taught it. That is what my job here is, to be a guide for you, to give you the recipe, to give you the system, which is the Soulful Abundance system that is going to guide you along the way to take you from struggling from where to find clients. How are you going to collaborate? How are you going to invite people to work with you? How are you going to build your audience? How do you nurture your audience? All of these things that I didn't know how to do either, that I had to learn. And I created all of the things that I wish I would have had into Activate Abundance. And it's a 12-month business accelerator program. We do have a 6-month option for you, and I'll share about that in just a minute. But the important thing that I want you to understand here is that without the right tools, without the recipe, you can't get to 6 figures. There are basic business foundations. The second thing that I want to share is you need the right guide, And I love using the analogy of, whitewater rafting. I love to go whitewater rafting with my family. And I guarantee you that I am not going to get in that boat unless I know that the guide has experience and that guide knows how to navigate. If the guide comes up and says, yep, I've never guided a tour before, ever before. This is the first time I've been on the river. Not really sure about the rapids, but I think I can figure it out. I'd be like, oh no, I'm out. I am jumping out of that boat. You want to have the right guidance. You want to have somebody that knows the river, that knows the rapids, that knows the obstacles. You want to have wise counsel. And I've been where you are. I know what it's like to struggle to find clients. I know what it's like to not know the foundations. I've been where you are trying to create a six-figure business. And today I have a multiple six-figure business. So I can be your guide that knows where the rapids are. I know where the obstacles are. I know what to do when you bump up against something and you're not sure how to navigate that, or you have a question about it. So instead of you going down the rapids on your own and, ending up bumped and bruised and broken, or even, saying, I'm out, I'm going to just kind of eddy over here to the bank and hop out. I'm not even going to go down this, rapid anymore. This is too scary anymore. You're in my boat with me and I get to be the guide, and I know where those rapids are. I know where those obstacles are, and I'm going to help you navigate around those. Not only that, but we're going to have an entire community inside the boat. And I know I loved to be in the boat with a whole bunch of people, right? It wouldn't have been as much fun to go down the White Water Rapids if it was just me and the guide, right? I mean, yeah, if I needed to learn to be a guide and I was like, yeah, I really want one-on-one support. I want you to guide me and I want to learn specifically around this piece. But it was so much more fun when I was with my family, when I was with other people that wanted to get to the same destination that I was going in. And that is what community does. So when you surround yourself with community, with women that are building and growing six-figure wellness practices or service-based practices, and no matter what kind of coach you are, relationship coach, parenting coach, health coach, life coach, doesn't matter. This is for you. If you're a holistic practitioner, this is for you. And so I want to share just one more screen to kind of give you a little bit more information about Activate Abundance Academy, because I think that it would really serve you. And let's see, it's not letting me share what I want to share with you guys. Bummer. Let me stop this share first. Oh, well. All right. So here's the thing. I want to share with you of the tools that you get to have inside of Activate Abundance. So I said that you needed the right guide. You also need the right tools, right? When you're going down whitewater rafting, you've got a life jacket on, you've got a helmet, right? You probably have your bathing suit on because you're going to get wet. There are some specific things that you've got on. Well, the same thing is what we provide for you inside of Activate Abundance. So in addition to giving you the system that you follow, the right steps to take in the right order, you have the community. You also have live access to me. And this is important when you are working in any program. Make sure that you've got access to the actual coach or expert that created it. Okay. You don't want to be learning from people who don't have the six-figure business. You only want to be learning from people that have been through it, have the process, and have actually worked that process well. The other tools that we have for you, which is important in building and growing a business, especially an online business, is copywriting and marketing. Okay, so we have a copywriting and marketing coach. Her name is Laura Mashanktono. She's amazing. And you get to meet with her live. Now, the only way that you can work with Laura live is by joining one of her programs, or she's inside of my program as an expert every single quarter, helping you come up with what to say, how to create a post, the ways that you want to post, how you can actually create email or content when you do a nurture event to help people come to your nurture event, to help people come and learn what it is that you have. Okay. We also have a mindset coach, Liz Nicholas. She's my personal mindset coach. I've been working with her for several years now. She's an expert in helping us stop the old programming that's keeping us stuck, the program that keeps us procrastinating, the program that keeps us from taking action in our business. And so she is our mindset guru, and she is going to help you make sure that you're dialed in on your mindset so that you can implement and take the actions that are going to make the results. We also have a sales expert. So Kayla Guetta, one of my personal friends and one of my old coaches, she is amazing, and she is all about divine feminine sales. And so she comes in to help you understand the process that you can help guide somebody on so that you can make space for a yes in the conversation without feeling like you are salesy or icky or slimy or trying to drag somebody across the finish line. We also have Sarah Cannell. She's actually helping me write my book. She is the founder of Thought Leader Academy, and she is going to help you create your mission. She's going to help you really be powerful in being able to get in front of the audiences so that you can speak more about your mission and create the impact that you want to create. So we've got so many amazing experts. And the last expert that I want to share today is actually Samantha Schmuck. She is actually the writer and the creator of the Life Coaching Program for Health Coach Institute, as well as the Program for Advanced Nutrition for Health Coaches. And she is there to take you on this amazing journey to get back into your body and to set up high performance habits so that you're not burning out. Because here's the key, my friend, we get to do this. We get to be well compensated. We get to be well paid without sacrificing our well-being, without sacrificing our integrity and trying to do these gross, aggressive sales tactics that feel so out of alignment for us as entrepreneurs. And so you get this wraparound support in this container. And if I added up all of my work that I've done with each one of these coaches over the years, I have spent well over 6 figures to have that level of support. Activate Abundance is a $20,000 program. But until tonight at midnight, you can actually get it for $10,000. You can join us. You can hop in my boat with the rest of our community, people cheering you on, working right along with you. We only have 15 spots. It's really important that I keep this a small, intimate group so that you've got my eyes, my ears, my heart, my brain on your business with you. Okay. And so go to shineabundancenow.com or go into the Facebook group, click the link for Activate Abundance. We've already taken that discount off for you. So you can either pay in full for $10,000 or you can create 12 payments of $917. Now, I said that we had a 6-month option, and we do. So for those of you that are having a hard time wrapping your head around an entire 12 months, you can actually grab the 6-month version for $8,000. But it makes so much sense to join us for a year because we want you to hone and master these skills. We want you to be able to get these on repeat and have experts' eyes with you so that you know what to do, how to do it, and the right steps. You're also going to get 4 one-on-one calls with me. Just one-on-one, you and me, every quarter. You and I are going to have a strategy session. Again, I told you it was really important that this is an intimate experience so that you've got my eyes, my ears, my heart, my brain with you. You also get 3 group calls every single month. We also do a mindset call every single month with me. All of these are live. All of these are live. And you have an entire membership portal full of the pathway, the 6 steps of information, of workbooks, of the call recordings that you need that's inside and waiting for you. So you have a decision to make, my friend. You can either try to navigate the rapids on your own, and maybe you'll get to the end, but you might be a little bumped and bruised, or you can join us inside Activate Abundance and have the right tools, have the expert guidance, have the support so that you can have those foundations and create a 6-figure business that allows you to serve with your heart and soul and do what you are put on this world to do. You are here to make an impact. You wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be a health coach, a wellness coach, a healer, a practitioner if you didn't have that on your heart. And so it really comes down to making a decision. Keep doing what it is that you're doing. You're struggling. You're not bringing paying clients in, or learn the tools, learn the skills, collapse the timeline. Let's go. It's time. By the way, if you join by the end of November, you get an entire extra month. You get to start as soon as you invest your first payment. And that means you get to have an entire month of December, and we won't start your payments until January 2023. Why do we do that? Because we want you to start creating momentum now so that when you start into 2023, you've got momentum going. The other bonus that we're going to give you is the Cash Infusion Bootcamp. So this is to help you to create $2,000 to $10,000 in 30 days or less. And this is an offer that I typically charge $1,111 for. You get that for free. Everybody inside of Activate Abundance gets to go through the Cash Infusion Bootcamp for free, because I want you to see that you can make money, and I want you to see how you can do that with more ease and more flow and quickly. So you can get your return on investment back pretty darn quick. All right, my friends, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to support you in any way. Marian, Sarah, Stephanie, Helen, thank you for being here with me live. And DM me Activate if you want more information. So send me a DM, send me a message, write Activate in there. If you want a quick call, I'm happy to hop on a quick call with you. I can answer all your questions around whether or not you think that this might be a good fit for you. And I'm happy to share. Bye, Sarah. Bye, Marion.